Good day, fellow franchisers. Welcome back to the Kansas City Royals franchise, the 2025 roster review. You should know what it is. You clicked on the little thumbnail, my poorly made thumbnail. But appreciate you clicking here. If you're new here, like the video, subscribe to the channel as we are 30 subscribers away from 300. Thank you all for subscribing, whether you're new or old. This video is just about the roster, just the main big league roster. I may touch on a few prospects we're looking at. I may show the top prospects going into the season, mostly for record. But this video should be short. I'm hoping short and sweet and to the point. So like the video and subscribe. Let's get into it. Let's look back at our last season. 76 and 86. Definitely not a catastrophe. You think when you think of the Kansas City Royals and their multitudes of seasons where they lost 100 games or more. We were a three-way tie in finishing second place. I don't know if I'll have that photo pop up here. If I don't, then I'll explain it real quick. And if I do, then I'll still explain it and you'll get visual aid. We were a three-way tie for second place with, the Guardians and the Tigers. But the standings had us technically the second place. So I'm going to say we were the top second place team. 76 and 86. Doesn't scream well. We had to make some adjustments, and I think we have. I don't know if we're going to be a dominant team. Well, I could go ahead and tell you we probably will not be a dominant team this year. But if our cards play right and these new additions work out, we could win the Central this year. We could. We did make one change to our coaching. I believe it is our hitting coach. No, is it our hitting coach? It is not our hitting coach. Oh, yes, pitching coach. We got a new pitching coach. His name is Robbie Cloven. So definitely a lot of the issues were with our pitching last year. Not necessarily the bullpen, but you're looking more at the starting rotation more than the bullpen. So we did get a new pitching coach. Everyone else is returning. That's a big contract for us to really get rid of last year for our manager. All right, so with that being said, let's look at the roster going into the 2025 opening day season. And let's just start off, starting pitching was a weak spot for us. We had a lot of guys that were hurt. It was pretty much Cole Reagans, and that was it. The other guys did their best to properly add on to the rotation, but they didn't do very well. So we went out and we needed to get a bona fide ace, an ace that could help complement Cole Reagans, and it could help boost the front end of our rotation. So we went out and got 29-year-old Shane Bieber. We signed him to a 3-year deal, as you see his number right there, and we outbid a couple teams for him. Had a solid season last year, 18-10 with a 3.2 ERA. I think he could do better this year if our offense picks up, but that's if our offense picks up. But Shane Bieber is a very good pitcher. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to this team. And if everything goes well, he could be the big signing that helps gets us to the playoffs. Only time will tell. Just a prediction. Other than that, when you look at our rotation, not a lot has changed. Cole Reagans is back. Brady Singer is back. Kyle Wright, who was hurt all of last season, will be back in the rotation this year. His last full season, he did pretty good. 21-5 with a 3.19 ERA. Do I expect him to do that again this year? Probably not. But I do expect Kyle Wright to be a very consistent pitcher. I expect him to be an above 500 pitcher. I expect him to eat a lot of innings. Well, I say a lot. Let's aim a little lower. Let's do 175 and see what he does at 175. 29 years old, still 2 years of team control left, pretty team contract friendly. He's going to be a key aspect to how this team performs in the rotation. And of course, we got Michael Wacha coming back to the last year of his contract. He struggled a little bit last season, but a majority of his high ERA and losses came in the second half of the season. So he started off okay, and then he kind of just got worse as the season went along. So hopefully that doesn't change. We are hoping that as the back of the rotation type guy, he could be a good solid number 5. Okay. And of course, we brought back Daniel Lynch. He's not actually going to be in the rotation this year. We may put him in the the bullpen. I think he's going to be our long relief guy. You could make an argument for one of these guys to be the long relief and the other one to be the number 5 starter, but I think I'm just going to go by the overall alone. Kyle Wright will be our number 5 starter, or I'm sorry, Michael Wacha will be our number 5 starter, and then Daniel Lynch will work out of the bullpen, and I think he'll do well. So it'll give us a long relieving lefty. Chris Bubich, just a little highlight here. He's back from the injury list from last season. He hasn't really pitched in, he hasn't pitched in a whole year, close to 2 years if you want to look at this, but he will be back. He is starting his assignments in AAA for now. I don't know when we'll call him up. We're definitely not going to speed rush. We're not going to rush him back to the majors. We're going to see and keep an eye on him on how he does in AAA, along with Asa Lacy, of course. And our number 1 pick, Stephen Choi, who is in AA. So we'll more on him a little bit later. Relief pitching. Now, we did make some changes to the relief pitching, to the bullpen, I guess, to the relief pitching. You get what I'm saying. First off, we went out and signed Andrew Chafin, 1 year, $5.5 million deal. Not exactly a bone-breaking move, not exactly the this ought to do it, but he's going to give us some nice support on the left-handed side of the bullpen, right? Numbers don't look that great, but I think he's going to do a lot better this year. Kind of a gamble. I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of a gamble, but he was one of the, if you go back and watch the live stream, he was probably one of the best relievers there were. The relieving free agency relievers market was weak. It wasn't very good. It was like Chafin, and then there was a couple of other pitchers that were 75, and then it just dropped down to like 60s. So we're just making do with what we can make do with. Nick Anderson and John Schreiber are back for another season. Each of those guys with a 2.5 ERA or lower. They were pretty reliable this year, or last season. So I'm looking for them to be reliable this year as well. And Carlos Hernandez is back, possibly running the role as closer this year. We're going to throw him in the closer spot and see what he can do. Obviously very good last year. If he could do that in the as a closer, I would be more than happy to keep him there for a little bit longer. We signed him to a nice 2-year, $4.4 million deal. I guess you could call it an extension. The Rule 5 draft came along, and we wanted to pick up one more reliever that I think could help us. So we looked at Scott Effross. Of course, I know him as a Cubs fan. I like Scott Effross. I like his nasty slider that he's got. He is definitely a pitcher that relies on movement more than velocity, and he does it pretty well. I'm not going to say he's great at it, but he's not awful. I think he's a very nice 7th inning piece for us. Shall we need him? Just sign him to a nice, 1 year, $710K. Pretty cheap, but a high reward if he turns out to be well. So we got him from the Yankees, I believe, in the Rule 5. Quick side note, we did not lose anybody in the Rule 5 draft, so nothing to worry about there. Down here, when it comes to our relievers, we did sign Cody Hewer. Hewer. He's 28, and I think that he can. I don't know if he'll ever touch the majors. I really don't, but he's only 28, and he's going to get better at a 62 overall. So injuries has definitely been the plague of his existence, and I think if he stays healthy, he could be a nice little call-up piece, shall need be. And then, of course, Stephen Kolek, someone who we had in the the bullpen last year, starting down in AAA. Same story with him. Get him better. We'll go from there. With Matt Sauer not coming back. Closer, we got Jake Brentz, but like I said, with Carlos Hernandez being our potential closer, Jake Brentz will find his role somewhere in our bullpen. You know, maybe he is a I don't want to say a clutch situation, but if the numbers show lefty on lefty and Andrew Chafin's not available, that might be his role. So Jake Brentz, he wasn't. I don't know what you guys think of these numbers. I thought he was okay given his rating and his potential. I think those are okay numbers for a guy of his potential. The ERA was a little high. Of course, home runs were a problem, but that's why he's not closing this year. And of course, one of our top pitching prospects will climb back in AA this year. Tries it again. So let's look at positions. That's pretty much our pitching. Let's check out our positions real quick. Nothing has changed at catcher. Freddie Fermin, who had an outstanding year last year, hitting 277, 17 homers, 60 ribbies, and even 100 strikeouts, which not terrible. I mean, that's not too bad for a second full season. He is 29. We did give him an extension as well. I have a lot of confidence in Freddie Fermin. He's in the Michael Garcia range of confidence I have in him. And if he shows what he did last year, I think that he is our catcher for the near future. Hard to say what he'll do from here on out, but he's got a lot more room to grow. And at 29, I'll be interested to see not only if he grows, but the rate of which he grows. And of course, Salvador Perez, still here, 2 years left on his deal. We still owe him $40 million. I'm going to do my best to get him some more playing time, even if that means starting him at first base, maybe for when a lefty's on the mound, just to get him some at-bats to keep him from regressing a lot. That's our catching battery. First base, probably one of the best players we had on the team last year, Vinny Pasquantino. Some of you know him as Pasquatch, and others, for some reason, call him the Italian breakfast. Still not calling him that. That's just what you guys call him. Very good season last year. Hit 297, and he was around 300 the whole year. That's what impressed me the most. There were times that he was at 305. There was times that he was 8, 307, 300, and 297. So I expect a lot more out of him this year. Maybe not an average-wise, but I need him to eclipse at least 20 home runs. And we'll see how that works. He got a nice extension in the offseason as well. I put that on the Discord. So follow me on the Discord if you haven't already. 4 years and $24 million extension. I think that's very fair. That kicks in next year. And he got his first All-Star last year. So shout out to SDS for putting the awards screen on the player card. So Vinny Pasquantino, obviously our first baseman. We also went out and picked up Grant Levine as more organization depth. 25 years old, formerly with the Rockies, I believe. So I think he's going to improve our minor league system quite. Now, second base is the interesting it's the position I'm going to be paying attention to the most, at least at the beginning of this year. We're looking at Michael Massey, who didn't exactly do great last year. He had 7 homers, 48 ribbies. He didn't even hit very well. He hit 226. He committed 12 errors last year as our second baseman, and that's something that we just didn't need. We're trying to spot ourselves on good defense with Michael Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr. on the left side of the infield. We need someone a little more stable at second base. So I think Michael Massey this year is definitely going to be more of a backup type player. And we're going to try out this kid. Willie Cabral is going to be our opening day second baseman. Good contact, low power. He fits the motif of what we want this Kansas City Royals team to not only be known as for back then, but what they're going to be known as for now and in the future. Contact, clutch, speed. Does he have elite speed? No, he doesn't. But he definitely has that above average potential to swipe some bags for us. He's a pretty big dude, too. 6'4", 239 out of Virginia. His fielding is slightly worse than Massey, but he is faster and he does have better reaction time than Michael Massey. And he hit about 280 in spring training. So we're going to give the kid a shot. Let's give Willie Cabral a shot. And let's see what he can do. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. We send him down to the minors. We try a plan B. And of course, we got Xavier Edwards hanging out in the minors as well, as we got him off waivers last season from Miami. Third base, no surprises here on the left side of the infield. Michael Garcia, who had an outstanding year last year, 13 homers, 53 ribbies. Same exact strikeout, going the Chris Davis route. 2 straight years, he had the same exact average at 272. So OBP going up, slugging going up. He won a Gold Glove. So committing only 2 errors in 1,200 innings, 1,200 plus innings. So we'll take that any day of the week, and I expect him to be a lot better. I already highlighted his extension in a previous episode. There you go. There's his first Gold Glove. for the young Michael Garcia. And I cannot wait to see what he does this year as well. Oh, and by the way, he can swipe some bags as well. I want him to get 30 stolen bases this year if possible. So we'll see about that. And of course, in the minors, we got Nate Eaton just chilling out. Good fielder, good base runner, but he definitely needs some seasoning in the in the minors. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. I'm going to keep this short. He is our star. He is our guy. He is the guy that's going to spearhead the offense. But he needs to do better than he did last year. Those are not Bobby Witt Jr. numbers. 18 home runs, 82 ribbies. I mean, the ribbies are good, but the power wasn't there, and even the average wasn't there. We need him to do better. We need Bobby Witt Jr. to crack 25 homers, 30 homers, whatever. We need the RBI totals to go up. We need the average for sure to go up because he is a big part of this lineup. If he's going to bat in front of the other power hitters that we have on our team, he needs to get on base. So that's a big part. Get on base. So Bobby Witt, be keeping your eyes on you, my guy. Obviously, I can't let you go, but you got to do better than 242. You're a star player. You're the highest rated guy on the team. You've got to do better than 242. So, but it's another year. And shout out to a guy named Buster Strawberry, which is, I'm just going to be upfront with you guys. I signed this guy just for his. So, good job, Buster Strawberry. Outfield. This is going to be a little complex. I'm going to do the best I can to explain this. You're looking at your two DHs right here. Nelson Velasquez will be DHing when a lefty is on the mound. And as much as I hate to take at bats away from him, look at this. He definitely had a good year when it comes. I think that's a solid year for a player of his caliber. That's a very solid year. The power was there. Unfortunately, the strikeouts were there as well. But I think he did very well. That's why I hate taking away at bats. But it's who I'm giving those at bats to is why I'm doing it. So Nelson Velasquez will be our DH versus lefties. And then versus righties, we're going to be looking at MJ Melendez. He, I believe, is ready. He is ready to go, to come back, I should say. He has obviously started before. But he hit over 300 in AAA. He had about 27 home runs. He had about 90-something ribbies. He's ready to go. His fielding is not great. That's why he's going to be our DH when a righty is on the mound. Because a majority of his home runs in the minor leagues came off righties instead of lefties. So we're looking at a 3-to-1 ratio on that situation. So MJ Melendez will be our DH when a righty is on the mound. So we'll see a lot of him. Looking over more outfielders, Kyle Isbell will play left field for us, at least at the beginning of the year. Good season last year. I don't have a lot of complaints about him, except maybe he'll hit a little more. The power is surprising. Very low, but we saw how far he hit the ball in a couple of the episodes last year. So if he wants to bump his power numbers up, let's do it. Other than not, I have no problem with Kyle Isbell in left field. Drew Waters, taking over in center again. Had a little bit of a slow year last year. 13 homers, 43 ribbies. He struck out 113 times, so his numbers went up. And, his strikeout numbers went up. Average, it's about what I expect him to do. It would be nice for him to see 245, 250. But yeah, Drew Waters is definitely going to be our starting center fielder for now. We went out and signed John Birdie, who, once again, fits the motif of a Kansas City Royal, right? A little bit of contact, good vision, and the speed. We want to kill him with speed. That's what we're going to do. And John Birdie is the guy. Perfect ghost runner. Perfect guy to come in late. Perfect guy to come in due to injury. He will probably see more playing time than he expects. Now, he will not be in the lineup every day, but he's going to be a top fill-in for if somebody needs a day off. He swiped 37 bags last year in Miami. And Miami was one of the worst teams in the league last year. I want to see him do more here. And I think we can do something with him. 1 year, 2.5. He's definitely going to be a guy that's going to be a late inning threat. And of course, we got Dalron Blanco to back him up. 31 years old. He is mostly also just a speed guy. Didn't do much with the bat. 18 stolen bases. Probably would have had more if he had more playing time, but it just didn't he didn't really justify getting more at bats with the way he played. At least hitting wise. Defense, he was okay. So, I feel good about those guys. And of course, we got our two top outfield prospects in Gavin Cross and Carson Roccaforte. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. These two guys are doing very well. That's all I got. They're doing very well. Definitely not Major League ready, though. And last but not least, right field, we have Hunter Renfroe. Hurt most of the season last year, only 96 games. I think he could potentially lead our team in home runs if he stays healthy. I think he's a key part to the middle of this lineup. The power I was talking about earlier with Bobby Witt, this is one of the guys, obviously, Hunter Renfroe. So hopefully he can stay healthy and we see more of him. Rivertown, unfortunately, the odd man out, back down in AAA to start the season. We'll see how he does in AAA. One more thing I want to cover before I end the video real quick. I've already went past my mark, but it's okay. We did make a trade in the offseason. Whoops. And I will show you that trade right now. And it's here at the very bottom of the screen. And it was between us and the Brewers. And I thought it was a fair trade. I did this trade on stream talking to multiple people, seeing if it was a fair deal. We contacted the Brewers and we said, hey, you guys need a starter. You guys need at least a backup outfielder. So, some back and forth. How about this player? No. How about this player? No. So we traded Seth Lugo and Tyler Gentry to the Brewers for outfield prospects Akio Hinojo and Emil Saladina, and I will show you those two cats here in 1 second. But at the point in time, I literally highlighted it in the stream. So if you want to see more details on the trade, and you could tell me what you think, because I wanted the trade to be fair, and I didn't want to fleece them. So let me show you those two cats real quick. So here's one of them, Akio Hinojo. He's 18, a C potential, 58 overall. He's in single A right now, but to be honest, I may move him up to double A. I like his layout. He does have a little bit of power, but he has no vision, no clutch. Fielding is meh. Speed is good. I like the speed. That's a big majority of why we negotiated him into the deal. So, then speaking of speed, here's the other guy, Emil Saladina, a B potential, 19-year-old. A lot of speed. Just a lot of speed. 84 speed, 84 stealing. Fielding needs work. Of course, his hitting needs work as well. Nice bonus that he can play shortstop along with everywhere else in the outfield. So these guys are still obviously a long ways away from the majors, but I think it was a fair trade. The Brewers needed another starter, and Lugo was going to fit perfectly as their number 5 guy. So it just made sense to me. Along with Tyler Gentry, the Brewers had a couple prospects, but they are not projected to be in the majors this year. So I think Tyler Gentry could get more playing time over there, with us having better outfield prospects coming up soon here, if not already here, with MJ Melendez, of course, and Dairon Blanco getting another chance. So yeah, that was the only trade I did in the offseason. There wasn't really a whole lot. Everyone else in the AL Central kind of just stood fast with trades. No one did anything crazy. Here's our top prospects. There's Major League Baseball's top 100 prospects, and I will just scroll this down. If you want to look, you can pause the video and look at your respective team and their prospects. I believe we have a couple. There's Archie Singer, a starter that we got in the draft last year, already 19 years old, already the 48th overall prospect in baseball. And then I believe we have one more here, if I can just keep scrolling. I'm trying not to scroll too fast because I know there's going to be people that want to look. Number 90 overall in MLB prospects ranking, Stephen Choi, our number 1 pick from last year. Got some work to do, but I'm glad to see that we've got at least a couple prospects in here now. And that's pretty much it. We just got those two guys as of right now. And here's our organization, top 20 prospects. And a lot of these guys are dudes that we just drafted. So that really shows how bad the farm system was. So, and of course, the two guys that we got, Emil Saladina at number 4, Anojo at number 10, and, you know, there's our top 20 right here. Still not strong, but stronger than what it was. And I look forward to seeing what this year has. We will have opening day on, well, coming up soon. I'll put it that way. If I don't do it later today, we're looking at Wednesday. So if you're new here, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Come hang out when I'm live here on YouTube. It'd be nice to talk some baseball with you. Usually guys teach me more than I teach them, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know in the comments your player to watch for this year for the Kansas City Royals. And give me a prediction. How do you think the AL Central will go? I think we got a chance to win it if everybody stays healthy. I really do. But we'll see. We'll find out on opening day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, like and subscribe if you wish. It's nice, easy, and free. And let's go Kansas City. Deuces.